Welcome back to the Oddity Shop, you oddballs, where the bazaar is always on sale. I'm your curator, Kara, and this is your curator, Zach.
Oh, hello. How are you today?
I am fabulous. How are you?
I am good. And just in case you're unaware, curator Kara, this is the podcast where we tell you creepy, strange, weird, bizarre, mythical, magical stories from around the world, and sometimes deeply gruesome and sad.
We forgot to tell you guys that last week.
I think we did, but that's okay.
So in case you missed it.
In case you listened last week and you were super confused by the end of it.
Okay. I forgot to tell you something.
Tell me.
And I think you're going to be proud of me.
I'll try to be.
It's a weird to be proud of, but you will be.
Okay.
I started watching The Fall of the House of Usher.
Oh, yes. Finally.
I wish you would have prepared me for all of the sexualness of it. Not because I care, but I watched it on the plane. And
yeah, the plane is not the best place for that show.
But I figured that's the only way you're going to get me to watch it is a, like 4.5 hour, 5, whatever. And
it's so good, though.
I am on episode, let me see. I forgot to write it down for you because I didn't finish. Dang. Sorry. Fuck. I guess it doesn't really matter, does it? But I started it. And
what do you think so far?
I'm on episode 4. How many episodes are there?
Probably 10. It was just a mini series.
Also, I think my Netflix got hacked because it keeps saying continue watching things I've never watched, and nor would I ever watch. Okay, anyway, I don't like it, but I don't hate it. How should I feel about it?
It's absolutely amazing. I think you might be a little bit too early because you haven't started to put together a couple things yet.
I've started putting together a very decent amount of things.
So you'll put together the main story, but as it comes out, you start to see the, it's not like the political ties, but like the real world ties to what they're actually bringing light to.
No, I have kind of started getting some of that.
Okay.
But I don't.
And also it has Kate Segal, who like I would go straight for in a heartbeat. Oh my God, she's gorgeous.
Which one is that?
She's Camille, the super like hoity-toity one. Very straight hair.
Oh, the sister.
Well, there's a couple of sisters, but yes.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. Wait. Not his sister? No.
She's the one with the 2 assistants.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, just stunningly gorgeous.
Especially with that blondie gray hair that she has in this. Oh hell yeah. She already died.
That hair reminded me of my friend Lauren's, which I know you've met her a couple times.
Yes.
Like, dang. Okay.
Yes.
Let me know when you finish it so we can discuss it. You probably will hate it, though, because we have such different tastes.
No, here's the thing. I don't hate it. I really don't hate it. But I don't know yet if I like it.
Okay.
But I don't hate it.
That's fair.
And I want to finish it. So
good.
There's plenty of things I've started and just never fucking finished. So
90% of the things I tell you to watch.
Yeah. So you should be proud.
I am. I'm very proud.
That's what I have for you.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't recommend watching it on the plane or around people.
I have one for you. I got fucked up by a TikTok, dude. Have you ever heard of immortality theory?
I mean, I think so.
Okay. Let's go to like multiple dimension theory really quick, right? So like for every choice you make.
Wait, did you send me this TikTok or did I just see it?
I don't know. It's making its way right now. But like for every choice you make, right, there's an alternate dimension or reality where you make the opposite choice. So there's like
yes.
For multiple dimensions, whatever, there's like an innumerable amount of them. So immortality theory states that humans might be immortal in the fact that in every reality in which you die, your consciousness just shifts to another or another reality in which you did not die. So
I've heard this.
Like
crazy.
Everyone in your life, right? If you died, you would think you had a near-death experience and wake up just fine the next day, whatever. But everyone else in your old reality would think that you have died.
Oh, I don't know if I've heard that part of it.
I know. I hadn't heard of this either. So like, a lot of people like get into situations like, oh my God, I totally should have died. But like somehow you just survived it. And the theory states that your consciousness just shifted to another reality in which you did not die.
Oh.
But like in your original reality, everybody would think you're dead.
Right.
I don't know. You know how I get with simulation theory. It just messed me up.
Now you should sit down and calculate every time you probably should have died and then figure out how many realities you've been in.
Too many. Too many.
Zach's face just
basically
out.
Every time I get behind the wheel of a vehicle. I'm not a great driver.
Well,
I'm better than some other people, but
that used to be in your life.
Okay, we're done. We're gonna be nice.
No, I don't have to be nice.
I will choose to be nice. Okay. But I'm also going to choose to get up on a soapbox for a quick second.
Please do.
So Kara can attest to this, and she's been telling me to go for years. I have been putting off going to a dermatologist for way too fucking long, and I had to have a couple of biopsies done and sit and wait for weeks because my ass went tanning. I never put on sunscreen. I didn't take good care of myself until recently, and it got a little scary for a minute. We got results back. Everything is all good and golden. But I'm just telling all you people who are like me, terrified of doctors and don't take good enough care of yourself, go to the doctor, get your skin checked so you can get everything caught, and either give yourself peace of mind or get it caught before it turns into a bigger issue, and put on some damn sunscreen. And that's all I'm going to say on it. I'm done. I'm off my soapbox now. Well,
sunscreen is just important anyway, especially on your face so that you can look young and beautiful like me.
Instead of old and haggard like me. Yeah. But I'm putting it on now, so I'll start to look, well, maybe just stay this age. Okay.
No, your skin will get better.
It's cleared up a bit this year, so.
Yeah. All right. So there's our PSA.
Yeah. All right. You got
okay,
anything else before I open up the shop?
No. Let's go. What do you got?
Okay.
Question.
There's probably a couple parts to this one. What are your feelings on like live theater? You know, like Broadway, going to see live performance?
I've never really had a feeling about it.
Have you ever gone?
Yeah, I have. I saw Aladdin. We went and did Aladdin a couple years ago, me and my mama. I haven't really gone to a lot, so I am not a good person to speak on this, but I'm not opposed to going. I've just never had anybody that has wanted to go with me.
Well, we'll see if your mind is made up one way or the other at the end of this. For me personally, I love musicals. I love watching movie adaptations. I don't know why, whenever I go see things live, I love it. And I think everyone's very talented. But the fact that there's one intermission.
Oh, it throws everything off.
I don't even like going to the movie theater that much because I can't get up and move around. But like, I don't like that feeling of being stuck there.
Yeah, I agree. Another thing, though, that I will say that I don't know where you're going with this. But what live theater and theaters in general do fascinate me, though, because there is a lot of energy in them motherfuckers.
There's a lot of energy in our story that we're going to talk about, but differently than what you're thinking.
Oh.
So.
Do you finally have a murder for me? No.
It depends on how loosely we're going to define murder.
Okay.
If we define it as gross fucking negligence, making a horrible story, we could call this murder. So we're heading to Chicago.
Okay.
And I'm taking you to the theater tonight.
That makes sense.
And now, this theater and the area behind it may or may not be called the Alley of Death, and we're going to talk about how it got the nickname.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of this?
No, but it reminds me of like Skid Row or something.
I would rather go to Skid Row than this place during this time. But according to Atlas, I'll tell you in a minute. Okay. According to Atlas Obscura, this is not only the most haunted place in Chicago, but one of the most haunted places in the world because of what happened here. Now, I do have to say, as we've been begging, this is a listener suggestion from Mary Bradley, who had emailed us. So thank you, Mary. She had gone on a walking tour of Chicago and they mentioned the place. And she's like, I need to hear the whole story and send us an email right through the website. Notice I'm giving you guys directions as I'm telling you how she did it.
Yay! This is so exciting.
Okay. We're going to start like right now today in Chicago at 24 Randolph Street. Between State Street and Dearborn is the James M. Nederlander Theater.
Nederlander.
This theater, it's a really, really fun place, right? Very lively. Started in the 2000s and was like one of the first theaters in this area that was doing Chicago's Broadway. So it's put on some famous runs of like, you know, Pretty Woman, Billy Elliot, Wicked, the SpongeBob musical, and so much more. So this place was opened in 1926, And this theater,
Okay.
before it was actually doing live theater, it was one of the first motion picture theaters in not only Chicago, but the US as well.
I'm sorry, is it called Death Alley?
Behind it is called, the
Death
nickname
Alley.
is the Alley of Death.
Alley of Death.
Yes, they say that because Death Alley gets people too close to Death Valley, and you get a lot of that when you try to Google it.
Okay, that's what I was thinking of. Okay, that makes sense.
So we got the Nederlander Theater, and we've got the area behind it, which is called Couch Place, Couch Alley, or it's nicknamed the Alley of Death. Okay, let's talk about the alley then instead of the theater. It, like it just said, it's called Couch Place. It's kind of like one of those like pass-through roads, so it's wide enough for cars, but it has a lot of people going in and out, like kind of like the workers going into the back of businesses or people cutting through from one street to another. There's also multiple theaters that open up back here. So you have a lot of stage crew, a lot of performers, or a lot of people like loading in the sets and stuff.
Okay.
But because of the amount of traffic it gets, it's like it's lined with display boxes for posters and shows. So it's like it's a really lively place. It's not just like a boring alley that nobody ever goes in.
Okay.
Which is actually cool. It's been really like meticulously cared for over the years. It has restored brick pavers and like a lot of classic touches. It just looks like old timey. It looks like a cool place to go and hang out.
Let me look this up.
But no, don't you do it, because you're gonna spoil. You're not gonna get today's pictures first. Put your phone down.
Oh, okay. I put it down.
So what most people don't know, though, as they pass through or enter the theater from the back, is that many years even before the construction of the Nederlander, this alley once held 600 dead bodies that are now said to haunt the alleyway.
Oh, no.
Not buried there.
Oh.
Held at one time.
Why?
Well, I'm going to tell you. Thanks for asking. So to understand why there's 600 dead people stacked here at one time, we need to go back even before the Nederlander. So before the Nederlander Theater, there was actually an older theater built here called the Iroquois Theater.
That sounds familiar.
November 2nd, 1903, the Iroquois Theater was opened after being constructed by the George A. Fuller Company, and it cost them a whopping $1.1 million at the time.
Oh, wow. In 1903?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, did you convert that?
I've been waiting for you to ask me because I know to do so now. $39.5 million in today's.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Very expensive place. So it was designed by Benjamin H. Marshall, and it was huge. It was 17,500 square feet.
Okay.
A third of that was the foyer. A third of that was the auditorium, and a third of it was the stage.
Okay.
So there's like an entry area, right? Like before you get into the theater area.
Okay.
The auditorium where you'd sit, and then the stage. So the stage is just as big as the auditorium, which is just as big as the entryway.
Okay. And we're saying 39 million, call it?
Yeah.
And this didn't even last 20 years?
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just making sure I understand. Continue.
Yeah. So it has a total capacity of about 1,750 seats, which is an insane amount, 1,750 seats in the one auditorium. So they built it in this location because the architect, Benjamin, thought that building a theater near a place that is highly police patrolled and near the Loop, like Chicago's shopping district.
Yep.
He was specifically attracting women visiting the city on day trips who were coming to drop money.
Which, that makes sense.
Makes sense, right? So this place also did a lot of matinee shows as compared to night shows.
Okay.
Because they're trying to get this day trip group.
Okay, so this makes sense to me.
So when it was open, though, it was touted as being like one of the most beautiful theaters in the world and definitely like the nicest one in all of Chicago at the time. I mean, it's brand new. It cost, $1.1 million in 1903. It was fancy. If you look at the pictures, don't do it now. If you look at the pictures, the foyer is like a huge entryway, probably 3 stories tall. And there's a bunch of stone column and arches. It's all like marble floor. And it goes to this like winding set of staircases in the back that then allow you into the auditorium. The entrance is all like that old, like giant like brick stone that you would see in Chicago at the time, like the white faced stone. Yeah. It has a big arch, which under that is the glass doorways. And then there's 2 just stark white columns on every side. Like, beautiful. It has a presence. Okay.
It better for 38 million.
Then inside the auditorium, vast general seating. So there's the main auditorium level.
Okay.
There are 2 levels of balconies going up, looking over it. And then the box seats are like at that second level, and some of them almost up to a third level above.
Okay.
And it's like they're tall stories because it's an auditorium. So it's probably inside about a 5-6 story space.
Got it.
All right.
I think.
Now, to get from the front entrance to the auditorium, the only way into the auditorium was through that foyer. So you had to go from the front door through these marble staircases, find the right door for your seats, and go in. And then once you're inside, it switches from this marble to this really, really ornate woodwork.
Okay.
All 3 levels of the stage have this wood that goes into the balconies, the box seats. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous, but there is a lot of wood.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like I know where we're going with this. If I don't actually know this story, I think I know where we're going.
Yeah, I think you can probably see where we're going with this.
Okay.
So the only other known and labeled exit is that stage door that goes into the alley.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the building code did state that there should be a lot of entrances throughout the auditorium out to the outside, but the designer thought that he wanted everybody coming to the theater to see and be seen. It didn't matter the price of your ticket. You all went in and out together, which I like, until you find out there's a lot of other code compliance skips because in the summer and fall leading up to its open in November, they had a lot of labor shortage and a lot of like setbacks, and they were going to open on time. So they kind of did a lot of shoddy work near the end.
Yikes.
So let's talk about the theater in its, it opens up and it's filled. It is filled day in, day out. The architect was right. It is bringing in all the beautiful young ladies coming to drop some money in Chicago.
Which is amazing.
Right. So it was a really, really popular destination, at least for the first month of its existence.
Oh.
What was helping draw in the crowd, though, was the show that they were running day and night every day called Mr. Bluebird, which I would actually want to go see. So Mr. Bluebird, it's a comedy from New York City. It's a story of a man who marries a woman, murders her, hides her body in a closet. But also it's comedy, burlesque, and like just a really fun show.
Yeah, we should watch this.
So the night of December 30th, 1903, the star of the show was an actor named Eddie Foy, and people poured out, especially because he was very popular. They loved him.
Ooh.
So you got to think, it's right before New Year's, between New Year's and Christmas.
Okay, yep.
We've got a star actor. So the show is not only sold out seating, they start selling standing room only. And they go so far past the max capacity that there's about 2,200 people for the midday matinee show of Mr. Bluebird on December 30th.
Oh, shit.
Yes. So people flocked to their seats from the one single entrance. They took their places. They waited for the show to begin. And many of them had no idea that it would be the last show they ever saw.
And this was only a month. Oh.
A month. Yes.
Not that that matters, but okay.
So the show begins as normal, and about midway through at 3:15 p.m., things start to go downhill really quickly. So shortly after the beginning of the second act, there's a song called In the Pale Moonlight. During this song, they drop the lights really low. I mean, it's already low because it's a theater, right? But they drop it really low, and these bluish arc lights come out on the stage.
Okay.
To illuminate with moonlight.
Makes sense.
One of the arc lights sparks.
Okay.
Which ignited a fire on the muslin curtain.
Oh, God.
It's unsure what caused the spark, but a lot of people tend to believe that it was an electrical short caused by quick building efforts at the end.
Okay, which makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, so let's take a pause real quick here before we get through the rest of it, and we're going to go a little bit backwards. Do you remember what they said about the Titanic before it sank?
It was unsinkable?
Yes. So the owners of the theater did the exact same thing. You see, all their playbill posters, the newspaper, and the media constantly bragged about the beautiful new theater and how it was absolutely fireproof in all capital letters.
But it's majority wood and curtains and things. What?
So, front area, or outside, stone. Foyer, marble, stone. Then, once you got inside, that's where all the ornate wood was. So they were going to employ some really cutting-edge fire suppression methods.
This just makes whatever. Oh, God. It's just the fire is being enclosed in because of all the stone and the things. And okay. I hate this.
So, The muslin curtain, remember I told you this place is about 5 or 6 stories tall and the balconies go all the way up. So the curtains also go very high up. So the fire starts to climb the curtain and the backstage crew immediately gets to work using this new fire suppression system. It's called Kill Fire or Kyle Fire, Kylfire. This is a powdered substance that you would throw at fire and it would go out. I think Kill Fire too. That makes the most sense. Okay. Which is great if you're in close proximity to the fire, but there's no spray nozzle like a liquid fire extinguisher would have. So they can only get the powder as high as they can throw it, and it is now climbing the curtain. At this point, it's already too late to do anything. So the fire spreads up and then across the wood front of the stage. Yes. Mind you, it's packed 500 people beyond capacity. So the fire goes across stage, curtains. It's going from the ornate wood of the stage that builds back into the balconies.
Oh my God.
And people start to just absolutely panic.
And nobody really knows about the entrance going into the alley, correct?
The crew does, but none of the patrons do.
God.
Eddie Foy looks out, our star actor, right? The one a lot of people came for. And he is just kind of like a hero. He takes the stage while there's literally like burning parts of things falling around him, curtain, wood, everything else. And he's trying to get these 2,200 people to calmly and quietly leave the building.
Oh, what a little.
But to their demise, the people don't listen.
Well, because it's frantic and it's like scary and there's only one fucking entrance.
So they all start now. Between the foyer and the auditorium is about 15 entrances across all the stairs to get you to the right place. But you have to go through those, all file out into the same sets of stairs to get out the one front door.
Oh my God, this is horrifying.
Everyone starts to head out. They're rushing, but people don't know where to go because they immediately notice in the darkness, other than like, the light of the flames, that none of the doors have an exit sign. They're not marked.
No.
You can hardly see them because they're the same color as the rest of the wood.
Wait, I know why. It would ruin the design.
Oh, for sure. Now, what would ruin the design even more was if they used regular hinges on these doors that American theaters were used to.
Fuck off.
Instead, they used the British bascule lock, which was popular in English theaters. So you see, these had a special flip latch that you had to latch first, and then they swung inwards.
Inward. I knew you were going to fucking say that. Oh, my God.
Not only could people not figure out how to get them open, once they did, there's 2,200 people pushing them towards the door. So once they were unlocked, they couldn't even open the doors to get out before they were trampled or crushed. Okay.
Oh my God.
So while the masses are going for these doors, right, the flames now hit the backdrops behind the curtain.
Oh, of course.
Which there's thousands of feet of.
Right.
So the crew tries to drop the massive asbestos curtain that's supposed to put out any fires that start on the stage, because these lights were pretty flammable. But it's snagged either on the trapeze line, the skylight, or just some other equipment that the crew hadn't moved.
Oh my God.
Okay, so it snags. At this point, the fire is taking over everywhere. There is nothing to do except for try to find the way out. So Foy, by the way, is still, like, as the stage is crumbling around him, he is trying to just get people calm, tell them what to do. Nobody's really listening, but he looks out in the crowd and he's quoted saying, like, I was just taken aback by the fact that most of the crowd was women and children.
Oh.
Yeah. Our architect really did a bang up job.
Oh, God damn.
Okay. A lot of the workers and performers, they do escape through the back door or through coal hatches or other secret ways they knew of. Now, the crowd does start to find some exit doors that didn't lead to the foyer. Some of them led to absolutely nowhere.
Okay.
Some of them led to other sorts of dead ends with hallways with no other escapes. Others opened up to nothingness high above the alley because the fire escapes were improperly installed, not installed at all, or were frozen, so they could not even be lowered.
Oh my God, I was going to say, where the fuck are we? Winchester Mystery House? What the fuck's happening?
Pretty much.
Oh my God.
So as people are trying to escape from this area, they're trampling one another. They're like, so you have trample death, crush death. You have a lot of asphyxiation. So then the ones who are finding the entrances over their alley are realizing, like, there's one way out, and that's jumping.
Oh.
Or they would try to, like, remember the upper balconies could have been anywhere from like 4 to 6 stories. because that's where a lot of these doors to nowhere went.
What's 4 stories in reference to something for my brain?
40, 50 feet.
Okay, so you would probably more like
because a standard door is 7 foot. You got about a foot above that. Then you got ceiling and floor. So you're talking, yeah. So they would try to make these, like the people in the buildings across are trying to help them make makeshift bridges, which are falling as people are trying to cross them. So now you have hundreds of people falling or jumping into the alley. Some of them are already dead and crushed. Lucky for the last ones out, they had about 10 feet of cushioning when they jumped out of the alley.
Oh my God, because you're just literally jumping on dead bodies or just, oh my God.
So the fire continues to rage. And in 30 minutes,
shut the fuck up.
The it puts itself out because it can't go past the wood really into the foyer.
Right. Oh my.
The scene was unbearable. So let's set the scene. The foyer area, basically untouched by fire, looks just as beautiful as it was the day it did, except for the people still trying to run on the way out. And it was protected from the fire because not only was there just a few doors and marble staircases, which, it gets burned but doesn't like catch on fire. The bodies piled so high in front of the entrances going to the foyer because people were crushing them on their way out and they couldn't open the doors that it created a fire barricade.
Right.
The stairs in that area are filled with hundreds of people trying to get out, a couple hundred who are dead from being trampled, crushed, dying, or asphyxiated on smoke.
Oh my God.
Like I said, those who got out on the fire escapes or the windows over the alley, also trampled, crushed, asphyxiated, fell to their deaths. Like I said, it literally gets 10 feet deep at points. The crazy thing is that most of the people who perished didn't even perish because of the flames.
I was going to say that.
It was the fact that there was no clear way out, that they just crushed each other.
Honestly, yeah, I was going to say, because if you would have maybe just made it all to the foyer as far away from like the wood that you could, you probably maybe would have been okay. I mean, yeah, like you would have like smoke inhalation and things like that, but like you probably would have been better off just being calm.
Yes.
We say this in every scenario, like disaster scenario, just stay calm. Like it'll be, you can just think and move and do things better.
It's just so hard because you couldn't move here because there was already no standing area.
Right. And you figure like you're a lot of moms with children. All you're thinking is I've got to get my kids out. Like I've got to get my kids out. Like
now the people in the box seats on that upper balcony were a little bit more lucky because remember everyone came in the same side, but they had usher attendants on those floors to make sure that the people had paid the right price.
So they were
when the show started, closed the metal accordion doors, like the third class Titanic doors, and locked those so that the riffraff couldn't come into those seats.
Oh no.
Those ones were pretty badly burned. Yeah. So it's just a horrible scene. By the time fire and police arrived, remember, this is all over in 30 minutes. The smoke was so dense that they couldn't even see if there was fire, and all they could do was focus on helping any survivors.
This is crazy.
All in all, 575 people died the day of the fire. 30 more died from injuries afterwards. And like I said, surprisingly, most of the bodies were not in the auditorium itself, but about 60 to 70% of them were dead and in Couch Alley.
Oh my God.
It's just horrifying. It's horrifying no matter how you look at this.
Oh my God.
As recovery work began, right, like it takes a huge effort to get 600 bodies to their final resting places. So because there was already stacks 10 feet high in the alley, they were just brought out from the theater and they continued to stack the bodies in the alleyway. It basically became a staging area waiting for them to be taken to
like identified and taken.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Horrifying.
I'm trying to picture this, but I don't want to picture this at the same time.
Let's take something that's already horribly tragic and make it worse.
No.
So we already talked about the confusing unmarked exits. The place was way oversold, and the supplies to stop the fire failed. Yes. Upon further investigation, in order to get the place opened up quickly, and to get that impossible to burn rating from the fire marshals.
Shut the fuck up.
At least 3 had been bribed to overlook code violations and allow the place to open.
Of course.
And in a rush to finish the construction at the end, there was no official fire suppression system, no sprinklers, or any other common safety measures of the time. investigation of the blueprints found that there was shoddy electrical work done. There was supposed to be a fire system, and that there were in the blueprints tons of these unmarked exits to give the illusion of safety, but absolutely went nowhere.
Oh my God.
But got to get the place open for these women.
They took the time to make fake looking exits to like pass, but they couldn't actually just make exits.
Yep.
That's worse than all of it. That's so fucked up to me.
It's terrible.
Oh.
Let's talk about the hauntings now.
This poor place.
So going back to the Nederlander Theater and Couch Alley,
Lord.
There's no signs in either the theater or the alley stating about the Iroquois Theater or about what happened.
That's sad.
It's sad. There should be at least some sort of plaque.
Little memorial, a plaque, fucking A. It needs to be like a little statue.
But we did say it's a pretty bustling place, and a lot of the performers who frequent there say it is quite freaking haunted.
Oh, I wonder fucking why.
So, people report a creepy feeling as they walk through. Many claim to feel unusually cool breezes throughout the alley. And on a quiet enough day, you may hear one of the victims of the fire whispering your own name right into your ear where only you can hear it.
Oh.
There's also a lot of apparitions that show up in photographs.
Okay, that makes sense.
A lot of people claim to like feel somebody push their shoulders and they turn around and there's nobody there, as if like somebody was trying desperately to get by them.
Oh my God. That's so sad.
A lot of people feel really anxious, right? Or like there's somebody there. Now, there are some like pretty disturbing pictures of the inside of the Iroquois Theater before it was pulled down too. And online, it was a lot of argument about whether there was apparitions holding lanterns in the back of that photo, like ushers, or if it was actually the recovery crew. So that part we don't really know.
Okay.
But pretty regularly, what people see is strange anomalies and pictures taken in the alleyway.
Okay.
And a lot of them attribute it to Nellie Reed. So this woman who shows up in a bunch of photographs. So
okay.
Nellie Reed was a trapeze artist. She is the most popular ghost to haunt the area now. So she appears as a silhouette on the walls in photos. Sometimes she's seen with the naked eye.
Kind of cute.
But yeah, just like an outline against the wall, which is, it gives me like just chills. But Nellie was a performer at the theater.
She's trying to still perform and just, surprise.
So this is so cute. Her like main thing, she was a fairy and she flew on a trapeze wire over the audience, dropping pink carnations into the crowd.
That is the cutest fucking thing I've ever heard.
I know. Until December 30th, when she was waiting way up high on the stage, waiting for her cue.
Nellie.
Where she unfortunately ended up falling into the flames.
Oh.
She survives the initial fire.
Okay.
And dies of her injuries days later.
Oh.
Of the 300 performers that night there, only 5 passed away, Nellie being one of them.
Nellie.
Now, I did try my best.
You're not supposed to fuck with fairies.
No, absolutely not.
Oh.
I tried my best to find some Reddit stories for you or like firsthand accounts. Yeah. But a lot of it was third. And what kind of shocked me is all these places say it's the most haunted place in Chicago and the most haunted place in the world, blah, blah, blah. But really, it's just these like repeating things that happen in the alley. I get a little bit of a sense that the paranormal part of it is blown up for those walking tours and that sort of thing.
Yeah, probably.
But at least they're the only ones giving light to this terrible tragedy because, like I said, there's no plaque or anything else about the old theater or what happened there. Just, ugh.
That's so sad.
This was the biggest, deadliest single building disaster in American history until literally September 11th. 2001.
Do you know what this reminds me of? And I don't know if you'll know, and I can't. It was a nightclub, I'm pretty sure. And it was all fabric walls.
Yes.
And that was like a huge, was that in New York? But yeah, it was a nightclub, I'm pretty sure, like a nightclub restaurant. And it was like, everything was like fabric walls, like curtains almost, but like everything top to bottom, and that caught fire. And it was pretty much the same thing. Like there was not enough exits. It was overpacked. I can't fucking remember. I think you're looking it up.
I was trying to look it up. Was it the Station in Rhode Island?
Maybe. I don't know, but it just this reminds me of that, where it's just like it's supposed to be a fun place.
Yeah, pyrotechnics hit the acoustic foam walls, and within 6 minutes, 100.
I don't know if that was it. I don't think that was it.
There's apparently a ton of nightclubs.
I just remember because this was like one of those things where it was like the design, it was all fabric and like it just like it shouldn't have been. It just was. They were kind of told like, this doesn't make sense. It's not safe. Things like that. But it's like kind of like the same thing. Like they're trying to open, get everything done, like make it look good.
Just rush it.
Yeah, rush it. But
so let me ask you this.
Let's go.
Do you still want to go to the theater?
Yes.
Well, you're in luck.
Okay.
Because this created so much fucking public outcry that every theater in Chicago was shut down for 6 weeks afterwards. Many theaters in New York and Britain were also shut down. Policies on fire suppression for not only theaters, but all buildings were changed. So this is where actually your bright red exit lights come from.
Oh, that's cool.
Required fire suppression systems. And now every stage has to have more than one of those, at least back in this time, those asbestos curtains. They had to have the liquid fire extinguisher as well as the powder. And you actually had to have a sprinkler system. Yeah, so they were closed for 6 weeks. Everything else was retrofitted. And honestly, like a lot of building safety code today is still reminiscent from the policies that were put in after what happened at the Iroquois Theater.
Which is just so sad that's, you know what I mean?
It kind of reminded me of like the Mothman, right? Where after that bridge fell, like literally the way they take care of bridges across the world changed, which, yeah, it's sad that it takes the tragedy, but the smallest bit we can take away from it, a little positive, is that what happened to those people is now had enough outcry and anger that it won't happen again, or should not happen again.
That's just so fucked up. I found what I was looking for. It was the Coconut Grove fire, and it was a nightclub in Boston, Massachusetts. And it basically killed 492 people in the deadliest nightclub fire in history, and the third deadliest single building fire. Dang. Oh, here, after the September 11 attacks and the Iroquois Theater fire.
Oh, there you go. Hey, well, you got an idea for a next one.
Oh my God. I just
now you can also Google the Iroquois Theater, but if you had Googled it right away, all you see is the burnt inside of the theater at first. It is a stunningly gorgeous building. But anyways, that is the story of the Iroquois in the Alley of Death. Thank you, Mary, for the suggestion.
Yes. Holy shit.
I haven't been excited to write one in so long, but because like, I go through the list of stories I've heard 100 times or whatnot, and then I feel like I'm like,
do people want
researching something I've already like know. So thank you for these. Keep those suggestions coming. Keep things new for us and exciting.
And let's get real. It makes you just have to be able to sit back and like not do any research. We do it for you, and you just get to have the story told.
Let us work for you for free. Okay.
Yeah.
We're like, if you listen to last week's, we're like the lighthouse keepers over here. Okay.
Unless
we need your permission to leave.
Unless you want to donate to us, you can. But for free.
You can donate. We will take donations.
We'll do all your research for you. Oh my God. Do you have anything else for us, dude? Good job.
No, we have to stop begging. Do we go really gruesome? Leave a fire emoji on our recent post if you got this far.
Yeah, fuck it. Leave a fire emoji.
We'll go gruesome.
Fire. Just because this was a fire episode, not because everyone caught on fire. It was just a fire episode.
Well, most people didn't catch on fire. Actually,
no.
Okay.
Leave the fairy emoji.
All right, yeah, we'll leave the fairy emoji.
I love that.
For Nellie Reed. All right,
I love that. Leave the little fairy. Okay.
Or flower, because she was dropping the flowers.
Oh, whatever you prefer. Fairy, flower, or fire.
All right,
all three.
And then my last ask is when you're leaving that little story suggestion, just take a few extra seconds, leave us a review. It really helps us out, and we would appreciate you more than you know. And what else should they do before we close up the shop, Kara?
That's really it. Talk to us on socials. It's been a little slow motion, which is okay. I get it. It's summertime. But yeah, leave us some comments, likes, and things like that. We appreciate it. It just makes us feel validated and like we're not, pretending to be something that we're not. We are podcasters. We want a little bit of love. We're real.
Oh
anyway, I'm rambling. I gotta go to bed. I love you all. I appreciate you all. So does Zachary. But most importantly, creep it real, yadballs.
Goodbye.
Bye.